Good afternoon, welcome to UBC Lunchtime News. My name is Sharon. Kyomugisha. In our top stories of the day, Joshua Cheptegei won gold in the 5,000-meter race in Tokyo. The gold came after his success in 10,000 race where he bagged a silver. Now, the joy in Kapchora at Museum Muneria Stevenson Cheptegei's father's home was earth-shattering as several people flocked to the home to congratulate the win.
It is 30 minutes to the final race of 5,000 meters. Apparently, in Kapchora, Joshua Cheptegei's home, they have started gathering. As you can see, they are entering to watch the race from here. I am privileged to watch the same race with his father. There is no better feeling than having the entire neighborhood gather at your home. Not for an ordinary visit, but rather to cheer your son represent Uganda at a big stage, Olympics. Joshua Cheptegei, a sounding name in the Bay region, known and loved by the young and old, eagerly watching the start of the 5,000-meter race with hope that he will triumph. The packed sitting room, one couldn't afford to blink, but rather watch as the race went on. Look closely, that is Joshua Cheptegei's dad. He seems around, but rather his mind far away. His soul dipped in prayer. And when the guys in the room shouted, 2 laps to go, the cheers and orations were on the moon. Go Joshua, you can make it. The children couldn't hold their feet. Joshua Cheptegei is crossing the line as number 1. What else do you expect from a room filled with relatives and friends? That is exactly the sound in your ears. Joshua has just won gold in style. After 5 minutes, congratulatory messages started coming through. Joshua's dad is super excited. It is now official. Joshua Cheptegei is the 5,000-meter gold medalist. I am with his dad. He has been watching the race throughout. Papa, how do you feel after seeing Joshua winning gold?
I feel excited, happy and excited because he has won. He has done it. God has done it. Yeah, exactly. I had some bit of pressure.
Why?
Because I saw the race was very tight.
Yes, I was on pressure.
But then what happened after?
If I saw that Joshua was the first, I was very happy.
Kapchora is on fire. Joshua's house and that of Museum Muneria Stevenson are a kilometer apart, but the young lad trained vigorously for a month without a visit.
He has been waking up very early in the morning, even at 4. He goes for trainings, and that is why it was not by mistake.
The writing is on the wall. Joshua Cheptegei is the most decorated athlete from the Bay region.
So joyous and beautiful to see people join to celebrate Joshua Cheptegei for being a gold medalist. Well, congratulations and thanks for putting the flag of Uganda so up there. Now, in more stories, Vice President Major Jessica Lupo has said that there is need to lure farmers close to large commercial farms into outgrowers. The Vice President, who was touring Terra Farms, that is a joint partnership between Indian investors led by Jayesh Patel and the family of Lieutenant General Julius Oketa in Laima Sub-County in Amuru District.
Who and where is the farmer that we are trying to address? Fortunately, we have a book called the Who and Where is the Farmer. We are handing it over to you in our quest for answering the question of who and where is the farmer in the power relations of the agriculture sector.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, our, retired Major Jessica Lupo, to give us a few remarks.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Lupo, to give us a few remarks. Your Excellency, the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Lupo, to give us a few remarks. Your Excellency, the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Lupo, to give us a few remarks. Your Excellency, the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Lupo, to give us a few remarks. Your Excellency, the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Lupo, to give us a few remarks. Your Excellency, the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Lupo, to give us a few remarks. Your Excellency, the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Lupo, to give us a few remarks. Your Excellency, the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Lupo, to give us a few remarks. Your Excellency, the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Lupo, to give We are here, General, to say that our office would like to compliment the work that you are doing on the ground. I know that as a farmer, and all these people seated here are farmers, we recognize the role that OWC has done across the country since it was formed.
Asante sana.
That's why, Professor, we are here to underscore first the successes of OWC, but also to see also, amidst the challenges of COVID-19, how we can move together as an office and address the shocks that may have been occasioned by COVID-19 on those households.
Asante sana.
Now, in more news, the National Resistance Movement Party has watered down the allegations levied against it by a section of the ODM party members in the neighboring country, Kenya. The Director for Information and Communication at the National Resistance Movement Secretariat, Emmanuel Dombo, says that the Party Secretary General Richard Tedwong has already responded back to these members of Parliament through the Ministry of Affairs.
Na wacha nieleze kidogo dakika mbili mambo ya bottom up.
On Tuesday this week, immigration officials at the Wilson Airport in Nairobi blocked Kenyan Vice President William Ruto from flying to Uganda, where he had a private meeting, citing lack of clearance from the head of immigration services. It's alleged that the Vice President William Ruto was to travel with other 7 people, including Oscar Sudi, David Bett, Eric Ruto, Ndidi Nyoro, Benjamin Tayari, Elijah Rono, and Harum Aydin, a Turkish national. Following this incident, a section of Kenyan members of parliament from Orange Democratic Movement, led by Junet Mohammed, called for a presser where they uttered statements tarnishing the image of Uganda and its ruling party, National Resistance Movement.
While we do not wish to interfere with internal political arrangements in other countries, we equally want to state very categorically that we do not need to borrow from other countries' political habits.
It is against this backdrop that a concerned Ugandan, Dr. Paul Bamutaze, dragged Kenyan legislators to the East African Court of Justice over statements uttered. Bamutaze, in filing this petition, contends that the statement contravened a number of provisions in the East African Treaty where Kenya and Uganda are signatories.
Him as a member of the National Resistance Movement and as a Ugandan, he feels aggrieved because he finds that he has benefited from this government, and for someone to trash all the achievements of the NRM government would not seem fair to him. And basically they trashed the whole NRM achievements and the government of Uganda, saying
Bamutaze adds that these statements also contravene principles of democracy, good governance, rule of law, accountability, transparency, and the maintenance of universally accepted standards of human rights, among others.
So one cannot cast bad light against a member state with such utterances for members of parliament whom we would believe would show a better example that we are moving towards economic integration.
Through his lawyers, Ovunsuga Case and company advocates, he contends that this was intended to cast bad light to his country's image, as well as the President of the Republic of Uganda, since he is the chairperson of the ruling party NRM.
They really portray Uganda as a country that is not worthy being an example, and yet we all know that Uganda is one of the countries in the East African community that is and has always been pushing for the integration and furtherance of the East African community.
He now wants God to declare that the uttered statements by the Kenyan legislators contravene the several provisions in the East African Community Protocol and also be condemned to pay costs.
Were unlawful, were illegal, and against principles of mutual cooperation, good governance and democracy.
Recently, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Okello Oryem, in a press statement, dismissed allegations that Uganda is interfering in Kenyan affairs and that they had not made any arrangements to host Kenyan Vice President William Ruto. This case is also filed against the Kenyan Attorney General, the petition which was received by the East African Court of Justice on Friday afternoon. Other legislators dragged to court include John Mbadi, Opio, Wanda Ikareb, Amis, Jared Okello, Anthony Otieni, Fatuma Abdi, and Millie Odiambo. Nantongo Rebecca, Namamonde Deborah, UBC News.
The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Okello Oryem, says that the controversial blogger Fred Lumbuye will be charged with inciting violence and defamation on arrival in Uganda today. Now, Lumbuye, who has been deported from Turkey, is accused of spreading fake news in Uganda and illegal stay in Turkey. He was arrested early this week by the Turkish police.
I'd like to give you information of public interest that Lumbuye is in custody of the Turkish authorities with some other Ugandans, and they have been charged with several crimes they have committed or offenses that the Turkish authorities have preferred, including breach of immigration regulations and rules. They will be deported, or they already been deported, and they're en route to Uganda, where they will be in Uganda probably in the early hours of tomorrow morning. I wanted to take this opportunity to assure the family and friends and those who have been following this story closely that Lumbuye, on arrival with his other accomplices, will be received by the authorities, the relevant authorities, and they will be questioned by relevant authorities of the various offenses that they have committed, and some of them have a direct implication in Uganda. I'd like to assure you that they will then be brought before the court of law after being interviewed and after statements being received from them. They'll be before the court of law, and the events will then take its course as to charges brought on them by the DPP. One thing I'd like to inform Ugandans that I have read so much and seen so much hysteria in the social media that if you were brought to Uganda, you might be mistreated and executed. I'd like to assure everybody categorically that Lumbuye and others who will come to Uganda will be given cordial treatment. There will be no mishandling of these individuals. There will be no torture, no mistreatment, and no harm will come against them, and no breach of their human rights as such. He will not be hung, as others said, he will be hung. He will not be executed against a tree, as others said, he will be executed against a tree. No, none of those will happen. I think those are alarmists and forces of evil who have been circulating those things on the social media. Suffice to say that on arrival, they will be received by the relevant authorities, and the due course of the law will take its place. Thanks. Okay, wish you guys well.
The State Minister for Luweero Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, has said government will endeavour to compensate all veterans, especially those who participated in the Liberation War, and renovate all historical war monuments across the country. Kaboyo says she's to emphasize compensating veterans and improving their welfare through establishing of economic generating projects.
The State Minister for Luweero Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, has reiterated government's commitment to compensate all the war veterans.
They have been doing nothing. They have done a lot of work. Some veteran families have been compensated. But as you know, when the war in Luweero ended, then other wars began. So really, it is about less than 15 years since the wars ended. So government had, it was overstretched. And
She was officiating the official opening of Ruwero Rwenzori offices in Ruwero Town Council. She cautioned politicians against partisan politics, which affects government programs aimed at poverty alleviation. Kaboyo promised communities in Greater Ruwero of steady growth by improving roads, water, health, electricity, among others, benefiting communities at all levels.
Let the presence of government be felt in every household in the whole of Ruwero. The time of politics, I have heard the new MPs, the time of politics is over. Focus must be on service delivery, and we must work as a team, irrelevant of our political affiliations.
The chairman in Ruwero District, Erasto Chibirango, appealed for more energies in the fight against unemployment, especially among the youth in the area.
That if factories can be built, and we have ever said it to the president, fruit factories, we should emphasize that in Ruwero people have undertaken projects like a pineapple farming. There are areas where there is mangoes. We needed a factory to take on this.
The scientific function was attended by the area leaders, members of parliament, and Ruwero district local government officials. Abdul Nasir Lowam and Fred Kasibante for UBC News.
Residents of Kochi County in Rakai district have called upon government to come to aid and build for them boreholes or to provide them with piped water. This follows the prolonged drought that hit several villages in Rakai district that left people and residents very, very needy. Now residents who now trek kilometers, climb hills in search for water, worried of getting diseases from the water wells shared by the animals.
Human Rights Defenders Solidarity Network, a non-government organization, has distributed fabrics to refugees for making face masks. The executive director of Human Rights Defenders Network, Gabriel Mugarula, says they are expected to make over 5,000 face masks.
To supply it in the urban area of Uganda, especially the district of Kampala, the Makindye division, the Rubaga division. Other partners, they can go ahead and supply to other districts, but for me specifically, I was given to supply in the district of Kampala.
Mugarura says the materials for making face masks have been supervised by the Ministry of Health and the tailors will be fully paid by the organization.
We have many partners around us. One of them is a big partner. This is UNHCR, who came and partnering with us in order to produce face masks to urban refugees in Uganda. We have received important fabrics, materials for face masks. This is cotton.
During normal days, Human Rights Defenders Solidarity Network receives over 500 refugees daily seeking for support.
To the government and everyone with good heart to come and support, to come and approach us and give an opportunity for somebody, a vulnerable person, to smile. This is a world where we need to share.
Chance that you can get like this project which has come for making masks. This one is now going to support the household. If you know how to make masks, you will come and get the materials and you can make face masks so that you can be able to provide a meal per household. Refugees have been facing a lot of challenges. They're lacking job opportunity. They don't have where to get a job. They don't have where they can get support. Especially when lockdown came in, it has affected them more. They are now more vulnerable. Everyone seems to be vulnerable because there's nowhere. Refugees are the people who are working in daily basis. They are earning day to day.
the refugees now want government to support them financially such that they can get what to eat.
Lakini sasa muda kama na huu, hakuna watu kutumika, hakuna watu kukutana. Sisi kazi yetu inabidi watu njoo wakuje ili sisi tufanyikishwe. Basi haiko rahisi, tunapitia uzito. Shida kubwa ni kwamba wa landlord hawana uvumilivu.
Shida ni nyingi sana kwa hiyo lockdown. Sana sisi kama wa refugee na pia kama vile wazazi kunakuwa shida ya kuweka jamaa kuhusu kiuchumi.
That was a story on refugees being empowered to make face masks. Now, residents of Kochi County in Rakai district have called upon government to come to aid and build them boreholes to provide them with piped water. Residents who now trek kilometers, climb hills in search for water, worried of getting diseases from the water that they share with animals.
Government help us because we are really not happy. We are not happy. We are tiresome. Whenever we go to fetch water, our daughters and the sons, they suffer a lot.
Now the interventions that have been made to have all these areas also served are there, but the long-lasting intervention now is the plan of a treatment plant which we are going to construct very soon.
We'll take a short break and we'll be back with business stories.
Airtel Uganda has the best and most affordable rates when it comes to withdrawing and sending money. Withdraw money for as low as 330 shillings up to a maximum of 12,500 shillings. Sending money is just as affordable as ever. Absolutely unbeatable. Use Airtel Money on the most affordable network with the largest network of Airtel Money branches in Uganda. Dial *185# to get started. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Man, guess what happened yesterday? Guy entered the what? The taxi. But the pregnancy is from the what? The generator. Then my phone does toot-toot. And the toothbrush breaks in the what? In the porridge. Then I call who?
Wait, what?
First wait, I am still telling you. Then the jerrycan does what?
Love to talk? MTN My Paka Paka now has more minutes. Get My Paka Paka voice bundles to talk and talk at no extra charge. Dial *160*1# to activate My Paka Paka.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Still watching UBC Lunchtime News. Now, the banking sector is committed to finding new ways of lending to the business community for business sustainability reasons. According to Anjuko, Chief Executive Stanbic Bank, their current focus is to achieve a fine balance between growing shareholder value while supporting customers to remain resilient through the pandemic. Anjuko made this pledge at the release of 2021 half-year financial performance for the bank.
Okay. So, quick brief. And when it talks to lending, it's not enough for us to provide liquidity or lending that lubricates the economy. We are also very, very committed to reducing the cost of lending in this country. And to that end, I'm pleased to report that we have the lowest prime lending rate of 15.9%, and that rate continue. We are committed to finding new ways to lending to Ugandans at rates that are lower. Increasingly, as we work through the structural blockages that prevent us from being able to provide cheaper credit. One by one they go, and as they go, the cost of credit comes down. You'll remember, friends, that a little while ago it was hard to identify ourselves. We didn't have a national ID. We now have a national ID. We didn't have a credit reference bureau. We now have a credit reference bureau with credit history. So our ability to reduce the cost of lending is growing every day. And as we apply technology and new ways of work, we will see this coming through. And that benefit we give back to our customers.
Overall, when we look at our performance again, our costs went up during the first half of the year as compared to 2020. And this is because we continue to invest in technology to support our clients to continue to transact seamlessly through our digital platforms, and that is the FlexiPay. We also continue to invest in order to build our relationships with our clients through our Salesforce system during this first half of the year. During the year, we also saw our balance sheet grow by close to 10% on the asset front and close to 8 or 9% in the liabilities, which shows that our clients remained very confident in banking with us. And also, we remain confident about the economy and continue to invest by lending to our clients.
A new government levy on mobile money introduced last month in Tanzania has sparked outrage from citizens due to the significant increase in costs. With 26 million people, almost half the country's population, using mobile money, the surge in prices has been felt widely. Well, thank you so much for watching UBC Lunchtime News with me, Sharon. Have a lovely afternoon and a great Saturday.